With the JLPT looming close, you might feel the pressure starting to build, wondering, have I studied enough? Do I remember all my kanji? Will I make it through the listening part? I passed my very first JLPT within 7 months of beginning my studies, and honestly, I learned a lot about my own studying preferences as well as what works and what doesn't. Regardless of how much time you have left, contrary to popular belief, it actually is possible to study too much, and it could negatively affect your mental and consequently your performance on the exam. More than being some kind of language learning prodigy, I think it's important to manage your time and energy wisely when it comes to studying and approaching the whole thing with a strategy. So without further ado, let's get started. When it comes to JLPT prep, it basically just consists of learning new content, practicing applying it through exams and practice questions, and then reinforcing your understanding with tools like flashcards and immersion. You'll want to prepare plenty of time to study. I would say like 6 months is a pretty reasonable amount of time to do this, although this could be cut down to about 3 months depending on how much time you have to study per day. Basically, just do what feels right for you. I'd spend maybe like 2 to 3 months just focusing on learning new vocabulary and grammar, and then practicing with exam style questions to reinforce your understanding. You can find countless videos on YouTube for every JLPT level. During this time, you want to absorb as much as possible. Then after that, about 1 to 2 months of practicing with exam questions. So this could be individual sections of the exam like reading, listening, kanji, grammar, as well as practice runs of the entire exam paper for time management. And then using the final few weeks before the exam to focus solely on revising and reinforcing everything you've learned. MochiKanji is a great app for you to use throughout your preparation for the exam. You can add new vocabulary to your digital notebook, which will track your level of memorization as you progress. Newly learned words will be level 1, and words ranked up to level 5 being in your long-term memory. The higher your level of memorization, the less frequently it will be reviewed. But if for whatever reason you don't have a lot of time to prepare for the exam, like say you only have a month or a few weeks, then you won't really have the time to spare to study in this way. Instead, if you don't have time before the exam, I would recommend doing as much practice exams as possible to familiarize yourself with the exam content and style. While you might not be able to go as in-depth as if you had more time, doing this would be a more efficient use of time because we're trying to cover as much ground as possible in the little time we have. I wouldn't say this is the most ideal way to study since you're not really understanding and absorbing the content and more just training for the exam. Of course, I know you want to pass the JLPT, and that's great, but don't forget that the most important thing is your skill. It is not your ability to pass the exam. Building your skills will allow you to gain true mastery in the language and allow you to apply your skills on the exam to pass in the first place. Knowing the JLPT material is important, but instead of memorizing just for the sake of the exam, balancing with native immersion will actually allow you to understand how it works because you're learning to associate different words and grammar with the context under which they are used. Have you ever learned a new word, then watched or read something and then immediately recognized it? And then you're like, oh, it's that, so it can be used in this way. That's basically helping you build a holistic understanding of the content and how things actually work in real life situations. When you're just studying for the exam, you're not truly learning or building your understanding. MochiKanji is one of my favorite apps for JLPT prep. Because it has courses from N5 to N2, which includes all the kanji you need to know, it's a great way to get some revision without burying yourself in a textbook. Or if you are preparing for the exam with the Minna no Nihongo or Genki series, there are courses to supplement your textbook study. Whenever you encounter new kanji, you can look it up with the dictionary feature in the app and then add it to your digital notebook for later review. The reading material can get quite lengthy, especially as you advance to the higher levels of the JLPT. You won't need to read the entire text to find the answers to the questions. For N3 and above, the longer texts usually have multiple questions to them, and as you go further down the list of questions, the answers to them will be further down along the text, so you will get a rough idea of whereabouts in the text to search for the answers. Read the question and answer selections before the reading material. Usually, all you need to read are the first and last sentences of a paragraph to roughly understand what it's about and whether it contains the information you need. I usually read the first line, the last line, and then start tracing back from the last line until I find what I need. Another thing is to kind of skim through and search for kanji related to the answer, so like keywords, because this will save you a lot of time from reading unnecessary kana that won't tell you a lot of information. So here I have a short N4 reading passage. We have the text here, and let's read the question. 日本では普通天気が悪い日とはどんな日ですか? So these are going to be the key things we want to search for. For our answers, we have non-rainy days, rainy days, non-windy days, and windy days. Time to search the text. So let's start from the first sentence. 日本では雨が降る日は天気が悪い日という. There it is. In Japan, rainy days are said to be bad days. So the answer is going to be B. Nice and simple. Moving on to question 2 of the same text. Again, reading the question. 私はどうして雨の日好きですか? So this is about the writer's thoughts. 私、雨の日好き. These are going to be our keywords. And the answers are A. Many people going out. B. Vegetables and fruits are delicious. C. Shoes and bags are cleaned. And D. The usual scenery looks beautiful. Keeping these in mind, let's return to the text. どうして日本では? This is a question statement. When it rains, we have to use umbrellas. Shoes get dirty, bags get wet. Okay, this contributes what answer C has to say. Your kutsu don't become clean in the rain. So we can eliminate answer C safely. Bag gets wet, again contradicts this answer, but I like rain. Okay, so we are entering the same topic as the question here. It would be safe to assume the answer will be revealed soon after when the author elaborates about this. 雨の日は木の緑が美しく見える. Okay, this is important. The tree's green looks beautiful. And in the next sentence, the rain is like cleansing the air. It looks more beautiful than on sunny days. Okay, this matches what answer D says, doesn't it? Let's take a closer look. The view looks beautiful. 景色 is often used to refer to views of nature, in which case greenery of the trees was mentioned. So the answer would be D. Kanji recognition is obviously extremely important to improve your reading speed, and that's what MochiKanji is perfect for, because in each lesson you will learn kanji along with vocabulary in the form of flashcards. Flashcards are a great, low-stress way to study, and with MochiKanji, they come with furigana and audio, allowing you to listen for pitch accent and pronunciation. The colorful visuals are great for helping you learn by associating words with images. Daily quizzes contain reading, writing, and listening, which will all come in extremely handy for improving your skills and therefore your exam performance. With the Golden Time feature, which is based on the spaced repetition learning method, you can review vocabulary at the optimal intervals for memory retention. Once your Golden Time is up, MochiKanji will send you a notification to let you know that it's time to review. MochiKanji is convenient and easy to do when you're out and about, on the train, waiting at the doctor's office, just anywhere you want to squeeze in a couple of extra minutes of practice. Moreover, if you want to focus solely on kanji, then this kanji tab in the MochiKanji app is for you. The app allows you to learn kanji via mnemonics, vocab, and stroke order, all with detailed instructions. There are various courses such as JLPT N5 up to N2, and the JLPT, so you can choose which one is best for you. While I think doing practice papers and sections of the JLPT are great for revising, I definitely don't recommend doing them in the last week leading up to the exam. Let me explain why. If you're already nervous and you get a bad score, then this is only going to put more pressure on you and stress you out right before the exam. You're putting yourself under extra stress that's not going to help your performance when you're already stressed about the actual exam. Because if you're taking a practice exam while you're under that state, you're probably not going to do as well as you could have. And then the stress of oh my gosh, my score was so low, what if this was an actual exam? And no, I have to redeem myself. And then you're in a state of panic and you're trying to take another practice exam. And you don't really want to send yourself down that negative spiral right before an exam. You might be wondering, well, if I'm not doing practice papers right before the exam, then what else am I supposed to do to prepare? And the answer to that is to just relax. Take it easy. At this point in time, I'd say the score you're going to get on the exam is pretty much determined already. You've already done everything you can up to this point. So just do your best to relax as much as you can so that you can actually focus properly on the day. Do your best to relax and keep your mind engaged with Japanese by enjoying your favorite shows, books, and revising with apps like MochiKanji. With just 15 to 30 minutes a day, you can learn and review kanji and vocabulary with less stress at the right time. While not directly assessed in the exam, conversation practice is just as, if not more important, because it reinforces your understanding. With MochiKanji, there's a conversation tab where you can chat with Mochi through basic dialogue. Additionally, the Mochi Garden feature helps you stay motivated as you can nurture cute plants by studying consistently. Isn't this just so relaxing? You can download the MochiKanji app via the App Store or Google Play Store, or visit the website if you're on PC. These are linked in the description down below. This way, you're keeping engaged with Japanese, staying immersed in the language, but not stressing yourself out by burying yourself into a textbook, wondering what you missed, or spiraling into a panic. Watching things in Japanese is great for practicing your listening skills, which will certainly come in handy for the listening portion of the exam, while books are going to be great for reading comprehension. I've always preferred watching shows over reading, which I admit I definitely should be doing more of. I also talk a lot in Japanese on a regular basis, which also requires that listening skill. Admittedly, reading is probably my weakest skill that I could improve on, but there's always room for improvement, right? And that's going to be it for this video. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming you're probably preparing for an upcoming JLPT, so all the best, don't stress, and just try to really understand the language because that's going to get you so much further than you realize. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!